Well, you wouldn't believe it. We're halfway through the year and this is only the third race in the 2025 British Sidecar Championship. We kicked off at Donington Park. It's a 6-round series, 14 races in total. 4 of those are on this glorious stage with British Superbikes. We have one at the Cadwell Park Revival and we have one with BMC back here at Snetterton later in the year. But after Donington Park, Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence, maximum double win, fantastic. Williams, Kevin Kolsch there in second place. The Laidlow brothers, Jack and Sam, had a pretty dramatic Donington Park, it's fair to say, but they're back here to defend that third position. Bell, Holden, Atkinson, Birchall and Rosny, a very successful Ironman TT for them. They're here. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon, Charlie Moss, Kirsty Hawkswell, Peach and Hope. All those are here. 13 sidecars will go, but I tell you that if that doesn't sound many, you don't want to be in the Czech Republic for the World Championship this weekend. There are only 9 there. And this is how they line up then. On the front row, it's Blackstock and Rosny narrowly from the Honda, the Haga Honda of Ben Birchall and Paddy Rosny on front row. Sam and Jack Laidlow are alongside the fastest of the Cup qualifiers. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon completing row 2. Row 3 comprises Phil Bell, Phil Hyde, the 2 Phils, a very good filling in there, Biggs, and young Frankie Muldoon, who was with Brian Gray at Donington, and he's in for the first time. And let's have a look. Row 5 there. Wait, that's a new team for you. Eddie Wakely and Anthony Hilditch. Let's see what they can do. Starting from the back, Luke Williams had a bonfire yesterday in qualifying on the opening lap. His outfit caught fire. And Jed Pulmore-Brady, they've been working flat out through the night and most of the day putting it right. Yep. It's
been amazing. I was down in pit lane yesterday on the pit wall for the Martin Hawkswell outfit, doing some stuff for them. And end of the first lap of qualifying, in came Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch. Smoking away. Marshall was very quick to respond, fire extinguisher, and those guys have put a lot of effort in to get that bike ready for today.
Well, they've got the speed and they've got the championship standings. They're in second place on 40 points, as we saw with the Laidlow brothers. But Lewis Blackstock and young Oscar Lawrence, a very, very successful pairing, and it's good to see these young passengers and the young talent come into this sport, because it does need a certain degree of revitalisation, it's fair to say.
It certainly does, and what better pairing. I think this is going to be a very close race yesterday. Birchall and Rosny in second place. They were a little bit adrift, but keep an eye on them, they will be fast.
Here we go then, lights in at the top of the screen, red lights on, red lights on. Paul Kirby went because the lights flickered, in fairness, so I'd be very surprised if he gets a jump start there. They went on, they flickered, they went off, and he went away, and out come the Laidlow brothers. Into the lead though, Ben Birchall and Paddy Rosny with the Honda steal the lead from the pole sitters. Lewis Blackstock there, weaving away on the inside, but he's still there. Paul Kirby is there, and on the inside of Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, the number 91 green and white outfit. The rest of the pack, there's Andy Peach there, Charlie Moss as well, on that life safety livery, the red and white outfits further down the order. Phil Bell there, the red and yellow of Bell and High. We've got a red flag. The start procedure declared flawed, and that really caused Paul Kirby to have a bit of a jump, and they will reform, regroup, and the whole race will start again over 10 laps. That's the information we're getting from race control. A flawed start due to the flickering of the lights. And Jed, I somewhat agree with that. It was confusing, wasn't it?
I think so. We certainly had John Holden and Phil Napton as well also jumping the start. I think they were the row behind the Kirby and Salmon outfit as well. So a few people will be thankful for that. Unfortunately, I don't think Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch would be too happy with that. They got up to 4th by turn 2. From the back of the grid. Remarkable.
Well, just call it a practice run. They can have another go. If they did it once, they can do it again. There's Charlie Moss. They're the number 17 outfit. Gordon Pottinger, David Dodd, they started from the back row because their 765 Triumph had some electrical problems, was misfiring and qualifying. They've since remapped the ignition, as I understand it. All this stuff with the laptop is way beyond my mechanical and technical capability, but it's the way they work these days.
It's a different generation these days, Barry. Like you say, with the looms and all the electrics internal, it's a big thing.
Let's have a look then at that start. This is why it's declared. Watch the lights. The lights come on. Oh, and they flicker off. Now, that was enough for certainly Paul Kirby to drop the clutch and go. So that was confusing. There was a degree of uncertainty with the rest of the grid. A restart is the correct decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fair play to the organisers. Very quick, swift decision there, and 100% the correct thing to do. So the new race distance we're seeing here on screen now, there will be one additional warm-up lap, which means due to the fuel that the guys will have put into the bike, the race will be 8 laps now.
Good point. I was just thinking about that. Extra lap and a half, extra 2 laps, call it what you like. So fuel will become an issue, but there will be another warm-up lap and a shortened race. So the Laidlow brothers will get another chance. Yeah, they're signalling, is it 10 or 8? And everybody will soon be given an 8-lap board. Our monitor telling us 8 laps to go. So Ben Birchall, Paddy Rosney, that is a ride chassis with that Honda, the Haga Honda in, and there were a few teething troubles at Donington with it, and Ben was only able to finish one race, but having said that, he said the bike handled really well. It's good from a passenger point of view. I spoke to Paddy. He said it feels planted, which is nice, you know, to have that degree of certainty underneath you. It's always encouraging. But this then, another warm-up lap just to make sure they all know where they're going.
It's certainly heightening up the tension for this race now. There'll be a few people just changing their tactics for this race, how they're going to approach it. So it's going to be, the pressure's going to be on a little bit for the guys at the front, I would say. But we'll have to see how it goes. Birchall, like I say, Birchall and Rosney on that number 16 outfit, the beautiful number 16 outfit there, coming head on into the hairpin, turn 2. I think they really are going to be ones to watch, Barry. They are. Yesterday there was a little bit of confusion. They sort of sold the dummy in pit lane. They came in towards the end of the session, did a tyre change. Everyone thought they were going to go out and really take the attack to Blackstock and Lawrence on that number 95, who did eventually take pole position, but they only did the outlap and then called it just before the end of the session.
Well, there's going to be a lot of frantic action at the front, we know, because we've got 4 or 5 very fast crews who will be doing battle at the front. But keep an eye on some of the more recent members to the grid, not least of all Eddie Wakely and young Anthony Hilditch on that green and pink coloured outfit, very colourful, and that is brought here by Wayne Stevens and, of course, Stuart Wakely, who was back with Assured Office Solutions back in the Ricky Stevens day, very much involved, and now his son, who was a very promising footballer, had a football knee injury and decided to turn his luck, if you like, or his abilities to motorcycle racing, started with a solo, and lo and behold, it was only a matter of time before he tried 3 wheels.
It was indeed. I remember watching Eddie Wakely last year. He was riding a Suzuki 650 at the BMC Championship, and the boy has no fear. The things he was doing with that motorcycle around Brands Hatch Indy last season were awe-inspiring, truly, truly awe-inspiring.
Well, it's only their 5th race together, so they've got an awful lot to learn. I had a look at the outfit, and it's got a few marks on it, so it's a bit battle-scarred already. So they've been upside down more than once, I think.
I think so. I believe as well there was a bit of an incident in Pembury a few weeks ago with Brian Gray and Frankie Muldoon, of all people, actually. Like we say, Brian Gray sadly not here this weekend. He's recovering from a medical procedure. So Frankie Muldoon there on the number 5 outfit, white and blue, with Rob Biggs.
Be good to see how they get on. Rob Biggs brought young Josh Smith along to Donington, and they just couldn't see eye to eye, and now Rob's trying yet another young passenger. So 8 laps to go then, and I can tell you, having way back, I did 3 laps of this Snetterton circuit with Steve Kershaw. So, you know, for an old fellow like me, that wasn't too bad. I felt quite comfortable, but it just gave me an appreciation of how tough this sport is. The pole position people are in the pit lane. So that's Birchall and Blackstock. So what's happened there? Why? Birchall's are in there. Well, that's Blackstock, and Birchall's behind them. So the 2 front row participants are in pit lane, and they are stuck in pit lane because we've got a red light off, and finding themselves in a pseudo pole position. The Laidlow brothers, the 84, are leading this one from Rob Biggs, and right in the middle, Paul Kirby gets the drop on Phil Bell, the number 18. So that is, you talk about drama and tension, we've now got mystery because the front row have gone into pit lane never to reappear. Already at the back, Eddie Wakely, there's a hand up with that outfit, so there's a problem there. No, all seeming to be good. They're away again. Paul Kirby and Emma Salmon, the young lady passenger, in with Paul Kirby. Rob Biggs then with Frankie Muldoon. What a brilliant, brilliant start for the Laidlow brothers. There, Blackstock can rejoin. Tell us what the regulations say about that. So he's going to join less than a lap down.
I think so, yeah. I think he's absolutely perfectly entitled to do that. The light at the end of pit lane was green there, and it's worth doing because regardless, for the championship, they will be sixth in their class. So even though they're a long way behind already, they will still finish sixth at the very worst.
They won't stay at the back, will they? Because such is the speed. They had a cracking qualifying time, albeit 2 seconds off Virtual's lap record, 156.894, set in 2021. That's Eddie Wakely.
That's a shame.
Eddie Wakely out of it. And Sean and Anthony Hilditch, that's a shame for them. But at the front then, it's Sam and Jack Laidlow, the 84 crew, Rob Biggs, Frankie Muldoon in there. Then it's Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, the German passenger. Then it's Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon, Phil Bell, the yellow and red, number 18. Through they go, funneling through. And at the back, Gordon Pottinger is now fighting tooth and nail with Charlie Moss and Kirsty Hawkswell. So those were the two towards the back of the field. And they're having a bit of a scrap all of their own. But Luke Williams is already charging.
I think this could be Williams and Kolsch's race at this point. They are so fast, up to third already after one lap, starting from the back of the grid. And they are then looking to make that move on Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon, who, may I say, Frankie Muldoon doing a fantastic job. Still a relative newcomer to the series, to the championship, to the sport even. And here we go, Williams and Kolsch up the inside. Nice and clean, beautiful move for second place there.
Through they go then at Wilson, and the sprint up towards Palmer, the left-hander of Palmer. They'll be at that now, and round they go. Oh, Lewis Blackstock, what's going on here? Oscar Lawrence shaking his head. Lewis Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence, not for nothing were they in pit lane. Whatever it was is not fixed. This is
absolutely
what's going on, for goodness sake.
I've never witnessed anything like that. One missing from the front row, we've seen it multiple times, but both competitors missing from the front row, almost unheard of.
Well, we've got 4 outfits out of the race, 13. We must be down to about 9. That will teach me to make fun of the 9 on the World Championship grid, won't it? We've now got 9 in this one, yeah. Instant karma, you're quite right. Luke Williams then, ahead of Rob Biggs. Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon. What that youngster's doing an absolutely brilliant job, and his father's here in the paddock, of course, an experienced sidecar driver and passenger himself, and a grandfather, of course, great Scots racer. Luke Williams going for the lead, and through he goes. Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch in front here. They're leading the Cup Championship, but they are now leading this race here in the outright standings and doing an absolutely brilliant job. This is a total contrast to the debacle they had at Donington Park for one reason or another, which I won't go into, but they had a disastrous start. This is totally different. Wow. Paul Kirby, Luke Williams, just fantastic job, Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch. Worked all night on that outfit to get the fire extinguisher powder off.
Oh, wide
for
the Laidlows there.
Oh dear, wide with the Laidlows. Exuberance, but they said they got the bike handling a bit better. The emphasis
allegedly, Your Honour.
Yeah.
I've got to say it again, Frankie Muldoon, I'm so impressed with that young man. He's just done a 2:01.4 with Rob Biggs. Fantastic.
Williams right over the curb. Luke Williams right over the curb. And, well, Rob Biggs keeping it on the tarmac, as indeed the Laidlows. So they've gone from the front of the race back to third. New race leaders, have a look at his time. 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes dead. 2 minutes and 3/10 of a second against a lap record here of near as damn it 1:57. So they're 3 seconds off lap record pace, but can they build on it? It's very humid now. The sun's gone in, it's cloud. There's possible rain a bit later, but it's not going to affect this race, that's for sure. On lap 3.
This is really, really interesting here to see what Laidlows are potentially. It just doesn't look like they've quite got enough to take the challenge to Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon there in second place, which is a little bit of a surprise. We saw great turns of pace from the Laidlow brothers last year, but it looks like they're just missing that final 5% to really take the challenge to that second place outfit there.
Well, GP outfits in the first 3. Kirby, the leading cup competitor. I think I did Paul Williams. What am I talking about? Paul Williams. I think Luke Williams a disservice. There goes Kirby, number 27. Laidlow's coming back on Rob Biggs, having a look at the inside, no way through. Round the outside goes Biggs. Biggs relying heavily then on young Frankie Muldoon to keep the back anchored and planted. And Luke Williams now out in front. And his gap, 2.4 seconds. And the caption on your screen showing the green line alongside the numbers, those are the cup competitors, and the cup outfit basically slightly heavier, less trick, carrying a bit more weight, but 15 kilos more, and therefore tending to be a little bit slower. Into the pits comes Charlie Moss, Kirsty Hawkswell, the Birchall's outfit stranded there. It's astonishing that somebody of the caliber of Ben Birchall is having all these teething troubles, but this battle now for third place looking good. The Laidlow boys making a move on the inside. No, Biggsy far too wily for that. Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon just shutting the door on Sam and Jack Laidlow, but their outfit does appear to be handling better.
It does, it certainly does. And here we go, slipstream from the Laidlows there, picked up off the back of the Biggs outfit, up the inside, coming into the left hand here at the end of the back straight. And they've got it done nice and early. Look at that lovely move from Sam and Jack there.
Into Brundle, flicking it right, round Nelson and then down towards the bomb hole. Up into second place then the Laidlows, having recovered a little bit, and then there'll be this never-ending quorum threatening to throw the passenger off at every turn of the wheels. It's a lot smoother than it was. It's been resurfaced in recent years, of course. The Snetterton 300 track extended into the infield several seasons ago now, many seasons ago in fact, but it's a good one to race on, and it's a very popular track with the sidecar fraternity. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon ahead of John Holden and Phil Napton, ahead of Phil Bell and Phil Hyde, the number 18. Cup competitors there, all scrapping tooth and nail.
This is really impressive as well from the number 26 outfit there in 7th place overall. 3rd in Cup, that is Rob Atkinson and Mark Middleton, and they have just been, I've said it before in previous rounds, they take small steps, always sensible, always making advantages, learning, and they are right on the back of our reigning Cup champions, Phil Bell and Phil Hyde. Very, very impressive.
Andy Peach and Josh Hope are pit bound. We're hearing, so that's yet another, and Andy Peach was down there in 9th place, right in the middle of the Cup pack, and will be joining his teammate Charlie Moss in the pits. But Luke Williams at the front, Luke Williams, Kevin Colch now with Sam and Jack Laidlow, who are not doing anything like the times. Luke Williams is into the 59s, 1:59.1, fastest lap of the race. So he's got clear tarmac ahead of him. He can really get the hammer down, and he's doing a good job. 3rd place, the number 5, Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon. But race leaders then, 5 laps on lap 5, 4 completed. On lap 5 for Luke Williams. using the curb and more. Rob Biggs using all the black tarmac and not putting it on the rumble strip. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon coming next with John Holden, Phil Napton ahead of Phil Bell.
I think we've lost another one, Barry Atkinson and Middleton. They were very close to that number 18 outfit on screen, and there they are retiring into the sidecar paddock there at the end of the back straight.
Well, at this rate, we won't have enough to make a podium. It's astonishing.
It's been a tough one, hasn't it?
The race of attrition. Over they go. Kirby then looking good, so he will enhance his cup standings nicely, doing what he's doing. From the southwest of the country, Gloucester area, very, very keen competitor and absolutely loves racing with his diminutive, I have to say, diminutive lady passenger. In fact, Kirsty Hawkswell is not a big girl. They're both small and slight, and
very, very slight.
With the greatest respect to the fairer sex, I find it astonishing that they have the energy and the strength to hold on, and you know all about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. This place, probably the kindest circuit on the calendar for a passenger. Small sections of hard work through the corners, broken up by these short straights through the middle section, certainly, and obviously the start-finish straight and the back straight as well. But still, it's no mean feat, and anyone thinks this is easy, I can tell you from personal experience, think again, it's far from it, far from it.
And if you do think it's easy, come along to the Cadwell Sidecar Revival and you can have the passenger experience for 20 quid. You can do a lap of Cadwell in a long outfit or a short outfit, whatever you like. And that is a very popular thing. They queue 10 deep for that, don't they?
Absolutely. It's surprising as well how many passengers get their start through that little bit of interest and intrigue in the sport. They come along, they spend their little bit of money, which all goes to charity, and then the following season they've got a race license, they're on circuit.
Number 2, John Holden, Phil Napton on the only Kawasaki in the race. 636 Kawasaki, and John Holden, of course, an absolute TT star, a veteran in the world of sidecar racing, so accomplished, and his son George, that's his Kawasaki outfit actually. I don't know what sort of family arrangement they've done between them, but George now focusing on the F2, the shorter sidecar. We have spots of rain around Corham and the bomb hole, so the eastern side of the circuit, northeastern side, well, eastern side mainly, just a few spots of rain, but we are on lap 7 of 8, so I'm not predicting that it's going to hamper us a lot. Everybody on slick Hoosier tyres, of course, and there the flag, diminished adhesion. Well, all very serious stuff, but at least the teams are warned. Frankie Muldoon dropping out, doing everything he should do, and this is a young man who's had very little experience, but he's moving like a professional.
Absolutely. I'm so impressed with Frankie. You've done yourself an absolute world of good today, young man. Very, 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 very impressive riding. Congratulations, mate. It's superb what you're doing out there, man.
Rob Biggs will be happy, be grinning from ear to ear. This will be the first time he's seen the checkered flag for a little while, and he'll be happy to do that. But at the front then, Luke Williams, about to start his last lap. He is in the slightly damp region, but obviously feels confident enough, and it's looking good down towards the chicane. Round Murray's away up the start-finish straight to start his final lap of this 2.97 mile circuit. It's a long lap here at Snetterton. Sam and Jack Laidlow likewise heading to trip the beam for lap number 8. Rob Biggs then, Frankie Muldoon, Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon, leading cup outfit ahead of John Holden and Phil Napton on their Grand Prix machine. And they're sandwiched between Kirby and Bell. So 2 cup outfits and 1 ahead of them. So John Holden may be able to find something on the last lap, because Kirby just ran a bit wide there, putting his sidecar wheel onto the grass and the dust kicking up. Well, Jed, it's been an eventful race. I'm sorry we had so many retirees or whatever, but we'll find out a bit more about that. We're back here tomorrow, of course, for the second race before lunch, which is quite refreshing.
It certainly is. It certainly is. It means a quick escape for us, Barry, as well. But it should, hopefully tomorrow will be a bit more interesting at the front. Hopefully Birchall and Ross can get their outfit sorted, as well as Blackstock and Lawrence, and we can have a bit of a three-outfit fight for the front.
What's encouraging is Luke Williams' time, 1:59.1. That is a very impressive time.
And still turning a great pace, still churning out 59s this whole race, despite
Indeed.
the fact he's got a very comfortable lead out front, settled, but he's certainly not slowing down that pace.
Well, this bodes well for tomorrow because he'll be the pole position man. So that is very, very good indeed. And can he lead from the lights to the flag? Only he will know that later tomorrow. But Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, who last week was in World Championship action, and this young man just pays his own expenses. Look at that, he's thrilled to bits, such as his enthusiasm. That's a great victory.
I cannot underestimate as well how awkward that is, what Kevin Kolsch has just done. Go down that straight, sat upright in the wind. That is really awkward, but he's a very capable passenger, is Kevin.
Laidlaw brothers then over in second place. Williams and Kolsch, victory here. Third place, and look at Frankie Muldoon thumping Rob Biggs on the back. Well done, driver. Well done. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon coming home in fourth place. Fastest Cup competitor. John Holden ahead of Phil Bell. Gordon Pottinger bringing the triumph home in seventh place. Oh, yes, here he comes. Gordon Pottinger, David Dodd. Good cup points for them. They'll be very, very happy with that. Seventh place, third cup. Not bad at all.
Certainly not. And it's just proof again. Gordon did this a couple of seasons ago. Just brought the points home, brought the finishes home. Not always in the battle, respectfully, but it paid dividends come the end of the season because he just kept seeing the checkered flag, race after race after race, and this is another example of that.
Well, that's it then. 8 laps only here, but good race. But Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch enhanced their Grand Prix Championship standings significantly, and after all the drama of qualifying, starting from the back, working day and night to get the fire extinguisher foam cleaned. It was a total strip right down virtually to every last nut and bolt to get the firefighting foam out of the works. So that wasn't a bad performance, was it?
Certainly not. And all of a sudden that 12 p.m, 1 a.m. finish in the early hours of this morning, it's all worth it now.
Sam and Jack Laidlaw, they'll be happy with that. There's a World Championship round on in Most in the Czech Republic as I speak, and they opted not to go to that because they didn't have a very successful Pannonia Ring in Hungary a week ago. And it was the right decision, boys. Come to Snetterton and get a good result. Runner-up then in the first race, 20 championship points, and well, that is great stuff. But no doubting a masterful performance by Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, his German passenger. Confirmation then, let's have a look. What has that done? There's a confirmation of the race. Williams, Laidlaw, Biggs. You saw all that unfold before your very eyes. Kirby, Holden, Bell, Pottinger, Atkinson. Sadly had a problem. Peach and Moss back in pit lane as well. But let's have a look at the standings. See what's done to the championship table. And overall standings, Williams now 65, 15-point lead over Blackstock, who ended up retiring. So it's all gone pear-shaped for Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence. They've got serious work to do tomorrow. Laidlaw's then up to third. Bell, leading cup competitor, fourth overall. Holden, Kirby, Atkinson as well. So Kirby, I think, is a cup competitor anyway, as far as I should.
He is indeed.
Yeah.
He is indeed.
So missing a little green tag off there. But there you go. The Stainless Steel Designs British Sidecar Championship opening race here at Snetterton was a good one. Okay, and back into pit lane. Round of applause from bystanders. Luke Williams and Tony Williams, his father, there in pit lane. And Sam and Jack Laidlow. How was it? All right, yes. We'll take that. Thank you very much indeed. Well done, boys. It's podium time. I want to see what Frankie Muldoon's reaction is.
He will be smiling ear to ear, that young man. He was a little nervous coming into this one. Rob Biggs, a fast rider, as we know from previous results that Rob's got in the British Championship. Frankie, without a ride this weekend, stepped in, and it's hard to say he made the wrong decision with that result.
Really good. Really, really good. So those two thrilled with each other. Father was equally emotional. Okay, it's only British Championship and it's only Snetterton, but when you get in there and the visor comes down, it's a race, and it doesn't matter what race it is, you want to win it.
Absolutely. Every time. The goal for any racer is obviously to get to the checkered flag first, take that podium, take that trophy for the win. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. If others drop out, then they're lost. They're lost. You can't take anything away from any of these guys today. Fantastic results all round. Superb for their championships. And I think there'll be a lot of happy people down there in Parc Ferme.
Jack Laidlow, 24 years of age. His brother Sam, the driver, just 20. So, as I said, I take you back to my comment at the opening lap of the race about young talent. And we've seen some young talent evolve and perform, and there's one of them getting up on the podium first. He's pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about that. Frankie Muldoon then in his orange and black leathers, congratulating the Laidlow boys, Sam and Jack, and a round of applause from them to Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, who might need a lift up onto the top step. It's a big old step, and if your leathers are tight round the knee, you can't get up there. Sounds silly.
Although, no problem for both of them. Well-made leathers all round there.
Well, the silverware going out, and that's the first, I suspect, of young Frankie Muldoon's career. I don't think it will be the last. Luke Williams beaming on the top step, and why wouldn't you? Looks like the sun has appeared again here at Snetterton. The black cloud that threatened us has just drifted off towards Norwich. And now bubbly time and the obligatory soaking. Well, another race to come tomorrow, but from all of us here, I hope you enjoyed that one. The SSD British Sidecars are alive and well. Race 4, and the second race in round 2 comes from Snetterton tomorrow. Join us then. We'll be back for sure. Meanwhile, have a good evening. Well, missing the front row because Blackstock and Birchall were both in pit lane when they went away. That gave Sam and Jack Laidlow the opportunity to rocket into the front. And there, the sorry Blackstock, and behind him, Ben Birchall. Oh, well, Eddie Wakely was out of the running pretty quickly as well. But Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon made the most of it. Lewis Blackstock was to rejoin to no avail and barely complete a lap. But at the front, Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, the Laidlow brothers and Rob Biggs and young Frankie Muldoon were having a battle royal, with Laidlow's making a bit of a mistake. Luke Williams ran wide to regain the lead. Rob Biggs went with him, but the Laidlows then had to fight back, and fight back they did. Rob Biggs, obviously being circumspect with his new passenger, was taking it relatively easy. Into the pits came Charlie Moss. Laidlaw, though, took the plunge and rushed down towards the inside. Atkinson was out of the running at the front. No such misery for Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, who brought it home much to the delight of the German passenger, signalling his excitement and patting his driver on the back. A good win then for Williams and Kolsch. Can they do it all again in race 2?